Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Today we'll be having a look at this Asus TUF Gaming Wi-Fi 6 router. We'll go through the unboxing, have a look what it comes with, and do some speed tests. So yeah, stay tuned. And if you're new to the channel, of course subscribe, give this video a like. And if you have any questions after this video, drop them down in the comment section below. Alright, let's get started. There we go. Alright, so let's have a quick look at the box. As you can see, this is a pretty large box. Confirming the model, it is TUF AX5400. It has an AI mesh support, it has an AI protection, and it has a tri-core CPU, 1.5 GHz under the hood. On this side, it shows you all the porting that it has. It has a power DC in port, the power button, USB 3.0 port, 4 gigabit LAN ports, 1 gigabit WAN port, WPS button, and the reset button. On this side here, it shows you all the interface, everything that it's capable of. So like I said, it has 1 gigabit WAN port, 4 gigabit LAN ports, and 1 USB 3.0 port. It has 6 antennas, 250 megabyte flash memory, 512 megabyte DDR3 RAM. It works on a 2.4 and 5 gigahertz frequency. It has the latest encryption standards. It works on the latest Wi-Fi standards such as 802.11ax, which is capable in 2.4 GHz up to 574 megabit per second, and in 5 GHz up to 4804 megabit per second. So yeah, this is a pretty impressive router, so we're gonna have a look and see how it actually works. Let's see what's on the back here. There's more descriptions on the back. As you can see, it has a dedicated gaming port, so if you're a gamer, you can connect your console or your computer to this port. This way you're gonna get the best stable signal. This is another cool feature of this router. Then it also has a net support, and of course Wi-Fi 6 technology, 802.11ax 4x4. All right, let's go ahead and open up this box. So we get in some information literature, advanced Wi-Fi helper tip. It just shows you how to update the driver software. Then you also get in the app setup instructions. You can scan this QR code, or you can just go to the Google Play or App Store and download the app on your smartphone so you can access the router settings on your smartphone. And here is our router, pretty large actually. We also get in a pretty big power adapter, as you can see. And let's see how many watts it is. So it is a 30 watt power adapter, which means this is a pretty powerful router. And just by looking at this power adapter, you can tell that this is going to be a pretty powerful router, because if you get in a gaming router with a 12 watt power adapter, that probably means it's not that powerful. You also get in the RG45 Ethernet cable, and this is going to be our 1 gigabit Ethernet cable. And of course, we get in the router itself. Wow, it is pretty heavy. I think they're saying it's about 600 grams, and I think it is just a little bit over a pound. And of course, look at that. It looks like a spaceship from Star Wars or something. Looks like a spaceship for sure. So let's go ahead and put it aside, see what else is in the box. We are also getting the VIP member warranty card, some safety notice, and you also get in a quick start guide for this router, which is going to be in a variety of different languages, so which is really good if you want to quickly start the router. So let's have a look at the front first. It looks very stylish, it looks very modern, and of course it's all made for gaming. So you get in a pretty gaming look with a lot of features like this LED lighting here. This is like an RGB lighting that's going to change colors. You can choose different patterns for this color. And as you can see, it says TUF Gaming on the sides. Then up front here, you get in some LEDs. We'll turn it on later and check it out how it looks. But as you can see, the whole design of this router is pretty nice. I like it very much. If you can see up front here, there is your internet symbol here. There is your LAN1, LAN2, LAN3, LAN4. So if you got 4 devices connected, this is going to be showing which device is connected. Then we get in the Wi-Fi 5 GHz symbol and Wi-Fi 2.4 GHz symbol, as well as a power on indicator. The body texture is really nice. I like it very much. It's not glossy, it's matte, and it has some pretty fine texture. And as you can see, when I'm touching this router, the surface, there is no markings, there is no fingerprints, which I really love. I mean, it's not really going to matter because it's not a cell phone. You're not going to be touching it every day. But anyway, it just feels very nice in your hands. And you can definitely feel like it's a premium material. It's not flimsy and it feels very good in your hands. We're also getting 6 antennas. So it's supposed to have pretty good coverage, I would say. There we go. So you got 6 antennas and they're not detachable, so you will not be able to detach them. But like 90% of the routers nowadays, the antennas are not detachable. When it comes in, it just all the antennas are already attached. You can only adjust the angle for them, and these antennas are rotating pretty far away. As you can see, I can put them all the way down. I can put them flat like this. And if, for example, I'm going to mount it on the wall, it's gonna transfer in every direction. Like for example, this 4 antenna is gonna go up, one's gonna go to the left, one's gonna go to the right. So there's a lot of different combinations, and because there are 6 antennas, you can also move them to the side like this, as you can see. So for example, if you wanna have more signal to this way and this way, you can position the antennas like this, and then you're gonna have in both directions, you're gonna have 3 antennas, which is really good. Or if you want to have like all the antennas positioned in one way, well, this is how you can do it. Or you can put the router like this and then position all the antennas like this, let's say. Then you get in every bit of signal going in one direction, so you're gonna get the most powerful signal going in one direction, which I really like. But in my case, I'm pretty much using it in every direction. I use it in every room, so I prefer just to have it like this. Then I'm getting pretty much even signal in every room, and it's pretty powerful. As you can see, there are vents on the front here. Those are actual vents that are going to be air intake for the microprocessor inside that will allow the air to go in and cool it down. And this is very important for such router because it is a pretty powerful router and it can generate a lot of heat. So you definitely need to have good cooling system. There are more vents on the side, which will allow to intake more air to cool it down better, which is really good. So these are not the fake vents. Those are the actual vents that will bring more air inside this case to cool it down. And on the other side, it's identical, symmetrical. Let's have a look at the bottom here. And on the bottom, you get a lot of vents. As you can see, it's pretty much like a mesh on the bottom with a little bit of plastic in the middle, which is really good because this means this router is very powerful. It's got a powerful processor that needs to cool down. And this is good. They have designed all these vents on the bottom, on the sides, up front, and there is also some on the back as well. It's got rubber pads as well on the bottom, so it will stay firm on the flat surface. And there's still going to be a gap between the bottom of this router and the surface where you're going to put it, like a table or a desk, so that there's still going to be air coming through the bottom. It doesn't have any wall mounting holes, so you cannot wall mount it unless you think of like gluing it to the wall, but it doesn't have any special wall mounting holes. And if we have a quick look here on the bottom, it says Asus TUF Gaming AX5400. It's a dual band Wi-Fi 6 router. The input is 12 volt, 2.5 amp. So this gives us 30 watt of power. So this router is consuming 30 watt of power, which is a lot for the router. Like if you're looking at the small router, sometimes they even consume 9 volt. The more powerful ones, they're using 12 volt, 1 amp, but this one is using 12 volt, 2.5 amps, which means it consumes a lot of power, but it's very powerful as well. All right, let's have a look at the back here finally. As you can see on the very back, you got 4 antennas here. You get in the ventilation as well on the back, so this router got very good ventilation on every side. And let's go have a look what it has on the back here. So the first one, we have the power input. This is going to be for your power DC cable. Then there is your on and off button, and actually this is one of the features that I really like about this router, because it has the on and off button, you don't have to actually unplug it from the power outlet, and you can just use this button here. Just press it. So really like this feature. Not every router has it. For other routers, you have to just unplug the DC cable to restart the router. Then another cool feature of this router, it features the USB 3.0 USB port that you can attach any flash drive like USB stick, or you can attach the network drives, or you can attach like a hard drive, any portable hard drive. So basically anything that you want to connect to this USB port will work. You can also do a printer if you like. So anyone who connects to this router will be able to use that storage or that printer or scanner, whatever you'd like to connect to it, which is really, really good. If you want to have like a NAS small storage at home, where you have some movies or something like that, and then you just want to share it across your computers, so this is very good feature. The next we get in 4 LAN ports, and these are all 1 gigabit LAN ports. So each one of these ports is capable of outputting 1 gigabit signal, which is very good. And it also features this gaming port, which is even faster than other ports. And you can also assign any of these 4 LAN ports to use it as a WAN port. So basically you can have 2 internet service providers connected to this router simultaneously, and then you can choose how you want them to be used. You can either use them to double the bandwidth of internet that you get in, or you can use them as a security feature. For example, if something happens to one internet service provider, it automatically switches to another one, and then you never lose internet pretty much. So this is another like safety feature if you have 2 service providers. But you can also double the bandwidth if you have 2 internet service providers. So I think this is very good for those who gaming and who want to have like absolutely outstanding speed. And of course, this is your WAN port, where you connect your internet service provider cable. And this is your WPS button. So this is like a security protocol that you can reset with this button. And this little hole here is for the reset of the router. In case something goes wrong and the router stops working, you can reset it with this button over here. So yeah, this is basically everything you get in on the back of this router. You also get in all the name of each port on the bottom here. That's a DC in, this is power, USB 3.0, LAN 4, LAN 3, LAN 2, LAN 1, WAN, WPS, and reset button. So it definitely features a lot of cool stuff, but the most important is going to be how it's working. So we're going to be testing it today and see how fast it is. All right, let's go ahead and plug in the power and see how the LED is going to work and how this lighting is going to work. So when you plug it in, you still have to press the power on button. There we go. So the first you get in this light up, it's going to circulate a few different colors. When everything's working, it's going to light up as green, even though it's kind of hard to see on the camera. You don't get that green color light on the camera for some reason. Let me see if I turn on the light. Maybe you can see better. Yeah, it's so bright that the camera is not detecting the color for some reason. But it's definitely green. In the settings, you can change this light to different patterns. You can make it like it's going to be breathing, or it's going to be like a wave. It's pretty much like a LED keyboard. It's going to light up differently, but I just decided I'm going to use one color. You can also choose different colors. You can go pretty much any RGB color you can think of. I really like that this light is not that big, so it's not actually too bright when it's dark in the room, and it's not distracting you this much, and you can even sleep with this light. It's like a night light. This TUF gaming is not LED, it's just imprinted in this plastic. You got a few LEDs up front here, and these LEDs are pretty bright as well. We get in the Wi-Fi 5 GHz, Wi-Fi 2.4 GHz, and of course the power on light. So the internet is not connected. We're gonna go ahead and connect the internet cable right now, and this light will come on white as well. Let's do that. So for the internet service provider cable, you have to plug it into this blue one. But like I said, you can use 2 internet service providers, but you have to set it up in the settings on the computer. If you go to the browser, to the settings of this router, then you can assign any of these 4 LAN ports as another WAN port. But I only have one internet service provider, so I'm just going to plug it into this one. And you see that this red light just turned into white, which means now there is internet, there is Wi-Fi outgoing everywhere in the room. Let's go ahead and connect to the laptop. And once we connect to the laptop, we're going to see that one LAN light will come on. And since I'm only going to connect one laptop, I'm going to use the gaming port because I think this is the fastest one. even though all 4 of them output 1 gigabit speed, so it doesn't really matter. As you can see, this LED light came on. This is LAN1. And I should say one of the things that I don't really like about these white LEDs, they're pretty bright and they're flickering really, really fast when they transfer any kind of data, and they're going to be flickering a lot. They almost never stop flickering. Even if they transfer like 1 kilobit of data, they will be flickering, and this gets annoying. So if you put it somewhere where you don't see, that's okay, but if it's on your desk, you're gonna see that flickering all the time, and it does get annoying. So this is one minus that I noticed with this router while using it. I wish they would change it to green or blue. This would be a lot easier, and I wish it wouldn't flicker so much. Like, it should flicker, but not as fast. This is like super high frequency flickering, and it gets annoying when you see it. Well, this is it for the outside look. Let's go ahead and test it. And actually right now I just noticed you could see the green color a little bit better than before. See how much I touched this router when I was doing this review? And there is almost no fingerprints. Actually, the raw fingerprints, I could see them, but they're not visible at all. Like, you have to really look for them. They're not even noticeable on the camera. But if you look at it at a certain angle, you could see there is some kind of like fingerprints, but finger markings. Let's go ahead and try it out. All right, there we go. So this is how close I'm gonna put my router to the laptop, so it's just right next to it, and this is gonna be the perfect conditions, or the best conditions you can ever imagine, for the Wi-Fi signal to travel to the laptop because it's so close. But this will give you an idea how good the speed is with the best conditions ever, and of course, the further you put the router, the Wi-Fi signal will be weaker and it's gonna be slower and slower. So I'm just gonna do the test with the best conditions you can imagine. It's going to be like less than half a meter, so we're going to get the maximum speed from the Wi-Fi signal. My internet service provider plan is about 500 megabit per second, but usually I'm getting about 800 megabit per second, which is really good. I'm getting 300 megabit more than what I'm paying for, but anyway, this is the speed that we're going to be looking for, about 800 megabit per second for the download, and for the upload about 500 megabit per second. So let's go ahead and check it out. The first test we're going to do it with the Ethernet cable. This is going to be the category 6 Ethernet cable RG45. And then we're going to compare it to the Wi-Fi signal 5 GHz and 2.4 GHz. See if that's going to make any difference. And then I'm also going to do another test with the cell phone. And I'm going to go further away from the router and see how the signal is going to drop from going away from this router for, let's say, about 10 meters away. This is one of the latest cell phones as well. So it supports the 5G network, as well as this laptop supports 5G network as well, and we're gonna check that, see how fast it's gonna be. All right, there we go. So right now we're gonna do the first test over the Ethernet cable from the router to the laptop. It's only a 1 meter Ethernet cable. By the way, if you want to know how the length of the cable affects the speed from your router to the laptop, you can check another video that I just made recently. I'm going to put a link in the description, and I'm going to put a card in the upper right corner if you want to check it out. This is going to be a very interesting video. We're going to do the thorough test and compare 1 meter cable versus 30 meter cable category 6 and compare them side by side, see if there is actually any difference between those two cables. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and continue right now. So this is going to be the test number 1. Alright, so for the results, we're getting the 2 millisecond pin time. The download speed is 748 megabit per second. And the upload speed is 521 megabit per second. So this was the first run. Let's go ahead and do the second run as well. This will help us to see if we're getting consistent results, and then we can also get an average result to compare. So the second run is 2 millisecond pin time. The download speed is 716. And for the upload is 514 megabit per second. Let's do a final third run. So as we can see, the results are pretty consistent. The pin time is 1 millisecond this time. The download speed is 748 megabit per second. And the upload speed is 511 megabit per second. So these are the results we're getting via the Ethernet cable RJ45, 1 meter long, category 6. Let's go ahead and check it out, see what speed we're going to get over the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to disconnect the cable and connect over the Wi-Fi. So first I'm going to connect to the 2.4 gigahertz network. All right, there we go. So as you can see, I'm connected to the Asus FO. This is the network, the 2.4 gigahertz network. Right now we're going to be testing the speed, see what speed we're going to get. So this is going to be the test number 1 over the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. Let's go ahead and check it out. Wow, the pin time is terrible. It's 125 milliseconds. This is over like 100 times worse what I get with the Ethernet cable. The download speed is 168 megabit per second, which is decent. You're going to be able to watch 4K videos with this kind of speed. But still, this is like 5 times less than what I was getting with the cable. The upload speed is only 52 megabit per second. So let's go ahead and do the test number 2. The pin time is slightly better, 123 milliseconds. The download speed is even better, 180 megabit per second. So for the upload, it's only 44 megabit per second. Let's do the final third test, and then we're going to compare it to the 5G network. So the pin time is pretty consistent, 125 milliseconds, 166 megabit per second for the download speed, and the upload speed is only a little bit shy of 30 megabit per second. Okay, so I think this is not very good results compared to the first result that we got over the Ethernet cable, but nevertheless, let's go ahead and test the 5G network, see what kind of speed results we're going to get from that network. Okay, so as you can see, I'm connected to the Asus F0. This is the router network, 5 gigahertz network. So let's go ahead and do a run on the 5G network. And as we can see, the pin time is still the same. So the download speed is actually pretty great, 517 megabit per second. But as you can see, for the upload is only 67 megabit per second, which is much lower than the result that I was getting via the cable. But let's go ahead and do a couple more runs, see if there's going to be any difference. Okay, so the pin time is 124 milliseconds. The download speed is 497 megabit per second. And the upload is 85 megabit per second. Let's go ahead and do final and third run. So we're getting the same pin time, 126 milliseconds, which is much higher than over the Ethernet cable. The download speed is 509 megabit per second, and it's struggling with the upload. So the upload speed is only 71 megabit per second. Alright, so for testing the Wi-Fi on the phone, I'm going to be using my Motorola One Hyper. And this is the phone from 2019, so this is not the latest phone that you can get, but it still has the Wi-Fi standard of 802.11 AC. So if I go to the settings here, as you can see, I'm connected to the 5 gigahertz network, and we're going to be testing the speed over the 5 gigahertz network right now. Then we'll also do another test with the 2.4 gigahertz just to see what's the difference going to be. Let's go ahead and do the test number 1. And we're also having the router right behind the smartphone, so the Wi-Fi signal is the maximum you can get from this router. Download speed is 316 megabit per second and the upload is 307. So let's go ahead and do another test, see if we're gonna get a consistent results. And yeah, the same pin time, the download speed 310 and the upload speed is 293 megabit per second. Let's go ahead and do one more test. There we go, so the third and final run, we're getting the same pin time, 3 milliseconds, the download speed is 318 megabit per second, and the upload speed is 312. These are the best results out of 3 test runs. And what can I say, this speed is probably limited by the Wi-Fi module in this phone, because this phone has its own Wi-Fi module that is capable to work on a certain speed. And I don't think even if you put like the faster router, it would be able to handle more speed. If you have a high-end phone, you're probably going to get higher speed with this router, because this is not the top speed that this router can output, but because I'm using this phone, this is the best speed I can get, but it's still going to be comfortable to watch 4K videos, which is probably even overkill for this phone because this phone is only 1080p. Alright, there we go. As you can see, I have connected to the 2.4 gigahertz instead of 5 gigahertz, and we're going to test the speed right now. Okay, so now we're going to be testing the 2.4 gigahertz. We're going to do 3 runs just to get an average speed in case there are going to be some variables and to make sure we get a consistent results. Let's check it out. So as you can see, it's very slow. It's only 55.7 megabit for the download and 64.5 for the upload. The upload is actually faster than the download. Let's go ahead and do the test number 2. Okay, for the test number 2, we're getting similar results. 54.8 for the download and 60.1 megabit for the upload. The pin time is the same. Let's do one more test. This is going to be the test number 3. So this time the pin time was 9 milliseconds, which is much higher. Also, we get in the 54.5 for the download and 64.6 for the upload. But anyway, these are the speeds. So let's go ahead and compare it if I go, for example, about 10 meters away and see what kind of speed we're going to get there. Okay, so I'm pretty far away right now. I'm in another room and there is at least 2 concrete walls in the way. There is actually about 3 concrete walls. So we're going to check the speed and see how fast the speed is going to be about 10 meters away with the 3 concrete walls in the way. There we go. As you can see, the speed hasn't really changed much. It's 314 for the download and 232 for the upload. The pin time is still the same. Let me go to the furthest point that I can get to and test it again. Okay, I'm testing right now the furthest point where I can get to. See how fast it's going to be. Probably like 20 meters away right now. It's also having some concrete walls in the way. Let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, so there we go. So this is from the kitchen. So 92.2 for megabit for the download and the upload is 71 megabit per second and the pin time is 4 milliseconds, which is pretty good. And this was pretty far away. There are a few concrete walls in the way and you could see that the Wi-Fi signal was a little bit lower. I also want to do one more test with the 2.4 gigahertz and see what kind of speed drop we're going to get with the 2.4 gigahertz. There we go. So I'm just going to connect to the 2.4 gigahertz network. Alright, so I'm on a 2.4 gigahertz network right now and I'm also about 10 meters away with at least 2-3 concrete walls in the way. So let's go ahead and check out the speed and see what we're going to get on a 2.4 gigahertz network. So on a 2.4 gigahertz network, as you can see, the pin time is the same. The signal has dropped quite a bit. So the speed has dropped about 30%. The download speed is only 32.9 this time. And the upload speed is 12.1. So the upload speed has really dropped about 5 times or 6 times. And the download speed dropped like 2 times. Let's go ahead and test it on the kitchen one more time. This is going to be the first I can go to test this router. So let's go ahead and do one more test. Okay, so right now I'm at the furthest I can go. It's on the kitchen, and as you can see, the Wi-Fi signal is better than on the 5G network, but let's go ahead and see what kind of speed we're gonna get. There we go. So the results are pretty good. As you can see, for the 2.4 gigahertz network, the Wi-Fi signal is better than on 5G, but the speed is way slower anyway. And this actually proves that the distance does not affect the speed as much as the obstacles. So this is the furthest I can go to test this Wi-Fi speed, but doesn't have as many obstacles as before. So as you can see now, the upload speed is better and the download speed is almost the same. So yeah, there you have it, guys. These are the results. I tried to do as many tests as possible so you can get a whole picture of how it works. Looking at these results myself, what conclusions can I make from these results? The conclusion number 1, if you're able to connect your computer or laptop via the cable, you're going to get the best speed if you're using a high-speed cable, let's say like category 6 or higher, or even maybe a category 5 would be fine, but the higher category for the cable you get, the more bandwidth it's going to have. If you're using a pretty high-end laptop, like a gaming laptop that has a fast Wi-Fi module, then you're going to be able to get a pretty fast download speed, but still you're not going to get it as fast as over the Ethernet cable, but it's still going to be plenty almost for anything you can imagine. But on another hand, the upload speed is struggling a lot. I don't know if that's going to be the same on every laptop, but it seems like it's really struggling with the upload speed. Maybe it depends on the Wi-Fi module that you have in your laptop, but it seems like this module that is in this Lenovo Legion 5 doesn't work very good with the upload speed.
over the Wi-Fi, because as you can see, I'm only getting like around 70 megabit per second for the upload, while I'm getting over 500 megabit with the cable. So if I'm using the LAN card, I'm going to be getting like 7 times more speed than with the Wi-Fi. And keep in mind, this speed you're going to get only if you keep your router really close to your laptop. If you're going to put it, let's say, a few meters away, or even worse, if there's going to be any obstacles in the way, the speed can drop drastically, and then you're going to get much less speed. While with the cable, it doesn't really matter how far you put the router or the laptop or computer, because it still goes pretty good. Because over the cable, the speed drop is not that noticeable. And if you want to see what speed drop you're going to get with the longer cable, you can check in my other video. I'm going to put a link in the description and put a card in the upper right corner. You can check that. But yeah, this is it, guys. I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you like it, please support it with a like. I try to make as many tests as possible so you can get a whole picture. Also, if you're new to the channel, please take a second to click the subscribe button. This will help me a lot to grow my channel and bring you more interesting, helpful content. Also, if you have any comments or questions, drop them down in the comment section below. Let me know what speed you're getting from your internet service provider. That will be interesting to know, and then we compare to the speed that I'm getting and to the speed that other people getting. Also, if you want to support my channel, you can go ahead and watch more videos. I have a lot of interesting content on my channel. You can check out for the best budget Wi-Fi 6 router. I appreciate it very much, but this is it for now. I hope you have a nice day. See you soon. Bye-bye.